Name resolution is when a computer resolves a computer name to an IP address. The first example I have up here, where the name is computer1, is known as a NetBIOS name. This is a name that might be used on a local intranet, for instance, where you might identify several different computers from each other. The other is a fully qualified domain name. And what we would typically resolve here would be the host part of this. Now, if we take a look at the first item, the computer name or the NetBIOS name, if we wish to resolve this, there are several attempts that the computer will try first before going on. If you try to contact a computer, say computer 1, the first thing your local computer is going to do is check its cache to see if it's recently resolved this name and try to obtain the IP address that way. If the computer name is not in the cache, then the next step it will go to the Win server and check that. Win stands for Windows Internet Name Service, and this is a dynamic database that will keep track of NetBIOS names to IP addresses. If it cannot resolve it through the Win server, then it will broadcast, where it sends out messages to all computers it can possibly reach to try to resolve the IP address. If the broadcast doesn't work, it'll check the lmhosts file. If the lmhosts file has been gone through and it's not found in there, then it will go to the hosts file and it will attempt to see if the computer name is the same thing as the host's name. And if it is, it may be able to find the IP address from there. And then lastly, it'll check the DNS server. Now, this could be a very important process here, and in order to memorize this, as a sentence that goes along with this, if you said something like, cram well before leaving, Harry dear, that would help you remember this. Cram, C, well, W, before, B, leaving, L, Harry, H, dear, D. Now, if the item you're trying to find has a host name, the order will be a little bit different. What it's going to do first, it's going to check the hosts file, look inside there to see if it can resolve the host name to the IP address. If it's not able to resolve it by going to the hosts file, it'll go to the DNS server. If the DNS server doesn't have an entry for it, it'll check in cache. If it's not in cache, then it'll check wins. If the Win server doesn't have it, it will broadcast for it. And then if it can't find it there, it'll check the lmhosts file. A sentence that may help you remember the order of this would be, Harry did not cram well before leaving. Let's start here. H for Harry. Didn't, D. Cram, C. Well, W. Before, B. And then L, leaving. This name resolution process is very important because if a computer is unable to locate the other computer, it will not be able to communicate. This order can be changed somewhat by making direct registry entries, or when you install your Win server, you can alter it as well.